Doctor Who has become such an institution that being self-referential is basically part of its DNA. Even the most standalone series of recent years, such as Series 11, couldn't help but reference Fez's vortex manipulators and Artron energy. Do casual viewers pick up on these details? Possibly not. Some require you to be a dedicated fan to find them. But even then, there are some amazing ones that might have slipped you by. So with that in mind, I'm Ellie with WhoCulture, here with 10 Doctor Who Easter eggs only hardcore fans spotted. Number 10. The Ood and the Scarecrow in Hellbent. 1976's The Deadly Assassin established the idea of the Matrix. No, not that one. A great big database where all Time Lord knowledge is stored. 39 years later, Hellbent took us into the Matrix's firewall, the crypt-like cloisters. This buffer zone serves as a booby trap for anyone stupid enough to break in, as the 12th Doctor puts it. It doesn't just neutralize potential infiltrators, however, it imprisons them, making them part of its defense. This allows for some good old-fashioned monster cameos, with the most prominent victims being a bronze Dalek, a Cyberman of the style first seen in Nightmare in Silver, and some weeping angels. But they're not the only foes to have tried and failed to access the Matrix. Look closer and you'll see a Maya helmet lurking behind Clara, a weeping angel cherub on the floor, and most tantalizingly of all, the dismembered heads of an Ood and a Scarecrow. Both are only seen fleetingly in the episode, but director Rachel Talalay offered a better look at the Ood over on Twitter, which shows it to be in a particularly sorry state. It's a really dark touch, and surprisingly gruesome for Saturday tea time. Number 9. Companion Callback in Death in Heaven. In Death in Heaven, a Cyberman rain virus converts all of Earth's corpses into Cybermen, including that of the Brigadier, who, in a controversial move, makes a reappearance as Cyberbrig. Presumably, the Doctor's other deceased friends were also affected, but it's probably best not to dwell on that. Much less bizarre is the episode's other reference to an old companion. Early on, we see the cyber virus spread from a cemetery to a morgue, specifically the one where Danny Pink's body is being stored. On the surface, this morgue is nothing special, but a brief shot of the exterior reveals its name to be Chaplet Funeral Home, a nod to Dodo Chaplet, who accompanied the first Doctor on 6 adventures in 1966. It's a lovely nod to a criminally underloved and overlooked character, and the passing of Dodo actor Jackie Lane in 2021 makes it all the more poignant. Number 8. SHUSH in War of the Sontarans. For all their showboating and tightly choreographed group dancing, the Sontarans are pretty dim. The Doctor uses this to her advantage in War of the Sontarans, warning the captured potato head that the Sontarans' sworn enemy is present in the Crimea, while omitting one vital detail, that the Doctor is her. Her cover is nearly blown when Mary Seacole begins to butt in, but the Doctor is able to stop Mary before she can finish her sentence, with nothing more than a death stare and the word shh. Casual viewers won't have thought anything of this moment, but dedicated fans will recall that this isn't the first time we've seen the Doctor use this ability. It was first deployed by the 11th Doctor in Closing Time to stop the mighty Stormageddon from crying, then to leave his dad, Craig, and shop assistant Shona equally lost for words. Now, it's not entirely clear what this strange power is, where the Doctor picked it up, or how it works. All we're told in Closing Time is that it's limited to life forms with underdeveloped brains, i.e. anything other than a Time Lord. The most likely explanation is that it's a form of hypnosis, similar to the technique the Doctor uses to send Rupert Pink to sleep in Listen or to erase memories in Journey's End. Number 7. Crew member cameo in the God Complex. In the God Complex, our heroes find themselves trapped in a hotel that definitely has a low rating on TripAdvisor. Its walls are adorned with framed pictures, each one representing one of the Minotaur's victims. Underneath each picture is a caption detailing the victim's name and their greatest fear. Among these unlucky individuals is the grinning face of Royston Luke Gold, whose greatest fear is Plymouth, which actually belongs to Marcus Wilson, one of the show's producers at the time. Now, this wasn't the first or last time that crew members have appeared on screen, with contributors from across the production team stepping in to play the so-called Morbius Doctors in 1976's The Brain of Morbius. More recently, in 2013's The Bells of St. John, the Spoonheads victims in the opening scene were played by various people associated with the show, including none other than RTD2 script editor Scott Handcock, who, at the time, had worked on the show as a production secretary. These cameos are incredibly niche, but for those in the know, they're neat little inclusions that give those behind the camera a well-deserved moment in the spotlight. Number 6. John Smith's parents in Human Nature. The Doctor's brief spell as a mortal in Human Nature and the Family of Blood came complete with a compelling backstory. In his guise, John Smith, the Doctor learned to draw on Gallifrey, somewhere in Ireland, apparently, and had parents named Sydney and Verity. Sydney was a watchmaker from Nottingham, and Verity was a nurse. The suggestion that Gallifrey is in Ireland is an Easter egg in itself, a nod to similar assumptions made in The Hand of Fear and The Invisible Enemy, which would be expanded upon in Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children as well. But that's not the only clue to John Smith's true identity. The names of his parents refer to the show on a metafictional level. Specifically, they recall the names of two of Doctor Who's creators, BBC head of drama Sydney Newman, who commissioned the show, and founding producer Verity Lambert. It would be the equivalent of the fugitive Doctor as Ruth claiming to be the child of a Mr. Chibnall, or the 25th Doctor turning human and having a father called Russell, which could still happen now that we think about it actually. Sydney and Verity were then name-dropped once again in The End of Time Part 2, where the granddaughter of Joan Redfern was revealed to be Verity Newman, which was another lovely touch. Number 5. A notable number in The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Doctor Who fans love a good statistic, and occasionally these stats are referenced in the show itself. For instance, Planet of the Dead was the 200th Doctor Who story to air. This was reflected on screen by the red double-decker bus featured in the story, which sported the number 200. That example is fairly on the nose, but there's another, more subtle reference to the show's production in the Series 11 opener, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. The episode's distinctive opening sees Ryan deliver a YouTube vlog about the greatest woman he's ever met, implied to be the Doctor, but later revealed to be his nan Grace. Below the video itself, Ryan's subscriber count is displayed as 37, and if we count Classic Who, Series 11 is, overall, the 37th season of Doctor Who. Elsewhere, the video is shown to have 19 views. Ryan is 19 years old, and 11 likes, as in Series 11. Add in the 2 dislikes, and what do you get? 13. Yeah, the production team knew exactly what they were doing here, didn't they? Number 4. Don't blink in Blink. You know how on DVDs they put extras on, documentaries and stuff, Larry Tells Sally and the masterful Doctor Who episode Blink? Well, sometimes they put on hidden ones, and they call them Easter eggs. You have to go looking for them, follow a bunch of clues on the menu screen. In the story, this is how the Doctor, trapped in 1969, is able to get through to Sally Sparrow. He hides a secret message on 17 DVDs that have nothing in common other than the fact that Sally owns them all. And something that only the most dedicated fans will know is that this Easter egg exists in the real world too, on the complete 3rd series DVD and Blu-ray. The full uncut version of the Doctor's message can be accessed via a hidden button on the menu screens. For Blu-ray users, simply insert the 3rd disc, click on Special Features, then BBC Trailers, highlight episode 11, move your cursor to the left so you're highlighting a hidden shape, and click. For DVD users, it's located above Scene 9 on the Scene Selection page. And there you have it, you can now sit there and converse with the Doctor, recreating one of Doctor Who's most iconic scenes in the process. Just remember, whatever you do, don't blink. Number 3. A familiar tune in The Power of the Doctor. The many continuity references in The Power of the Doctor have been well documented. The Master's line about having to dress for the occasion, a blatant reference to the TV movie. The titling of his scheme as the Master's Dalek Plan, a playful allusion to the 1965 epic The Daleks' Master Plan. And the recorder he plays in his guise as the Doctor, a nod to the instrument originally played by the 2nd Doctor. Except there's more to that last example than meets the eye. Viewers with a musical ear might recognise the tune played by the Master in the scene as the Skyboat Song, a folk song of Gaelic origin, perhaps best known as the theme tune to the hit TV series Outlander. An even smaller portion of the audience will know that this isn't the first time this piece has been performed in the Doctor Who universe. In fact, it was played by the 2nd Doctor himself on the very same recorder in 1968's The Web of Fear. Now, the Master wasn't in The Web of Fear, so it's not clear how he would have known to play this tune. Perhaps there was some sort of imprint left on the recorder itself, which gave him a clue, or perhaps it was just a coincidence. Regardless, it's a great Easter egg connecting episodes 54 years apart from one another. Number 2. The Big Bad Wolf in Gridlock. When Bad Wolf was first uttered in the Doctor Who universe, few could have predicted just how significant that phrase would become. There were countless Bad Wolf Easter eggs throughout Series 1, from the graffiti glimpsed on the TARDIS in World War III to Henry Van Statten's private helicopter named Bad Wolf 1. This culminated in Rose becoming the Bad Wolf in Series 1 finale The Parting of the Ways, which in turn ushered in a whole new wave of references. In Tooth and Claw, the werewolf tells Rose that there is something of the wolf about you. Then there's Bad Wolf Bay in Doomsday, and the paintings of a wolf and a blonde-haired female in Charlotte's house in Silence in the Library. But the sneakiest of the lot is easily this one from Gridlock. In the episode, the Doctor passes through many cars in a bid to find Martha. One of these is home to 2 Japanese travellers and contains a poster bearing the kanji term for bad or evil wolf, complete with a female soldier who bears a striking resemblance to one Rose Tyler. Someone give the art department a raise. Number 1. Cyberman Shipwreck in the Day of the Doctor. Fans might have reasonably expected the Cybermen to crop up in the 50th anniversary special alongside the Doctor's other greatest enemy, the Daleks. In the end, we didn't get so much as a cameo, but what you might not know is that the Cybermen weren't entirely absent from the story either. For starters, there's the Cyberman head on display in Unit's Black Archive, but this isn't the first time the metal monsters were glimpsed in the episode. Earlier on, we see the Doctor and Clara explore the Undergallery for the first time. Our attention, like the Doctor's, is drawn to the display case containing a fez, but in the background there's something else waiting to be found, a painting of a shipwreck laden with Cybermen. Quite what's going on here is unclear. Does this ship belong to the Cybermen, or have they simply attacked it? And just what are they doing at sea anyway? Then again, if sea devils can be pirates...
Hello, I just have a little bit more information about this painting that didn't make it into the original recording. So it's inspired by a real life painting called The Raft of the Medusa, which depicts a group of people who are set adrift on a raft, and several of them did turn to cannibalism in order to survive. Now that cannibalism detail might have links to the Cybermen, with the idea of cannibalizing and upgrading human bodies, and the word Medusa, obviously from the painting's title, could be linked to the Medusa Cascade, which is where all the planets were moved to in the Stolen Earth. Or there might be a completely different meaning somewhere. I don't know. Let us know in the comments down below. But for now, you can get back to the video.
And what of the painting's origins? Who was the artist and how did it get there? Does it depict an imagined scenario or something that actually happened? Well, whatever the case, it's an awesome detail and the perfect desktop background for any Doctor Who fan. And that's everything for this list, but make sure you check out one of these 2 lovely videos as well. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, watch that one. That one with the Dalek. Go, now, go. Oh, sorry, don't mind me. Go ahead. I'm probably over there anyway, so, in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.